What's going on, Everything in Moderation? Welcome to another edition of Everything in Moderation Debates. This is going to be a very interesting debate this time around. Tonight we have Maoism versus Nazism. Christian will be representing Nazism, and Patrick
Hello.
will be representing Maoism. So, without further ado, let's get into opening remarks. Christian, how do you start us off?
Well, I come here from the time loop of Nazi Germany, coming right off the back of getting absolutely smashed in World War I and getting those horrible reparations and everything that they had to pay. And Hitler did what Hitler did best and was amass the Germans and gathered them behind a philosophy that captured the attention of both people on the left and the right. And eventually he was able to take control of the German government through elections, by the way. And then he created possibly one of the most intricate wartime economies of all time, and completely erasing unemployment, completely erasing a lot of horrible things that come with economic downturn, and basically turned it around for Germany until, of course, he lost. But yes, we're not going to talk about that.
Interesting. All right, Patrick, let's hear your opening remarks.
All right, everything Mr. DeLuca just said can be dismissed because that man's mustache is just terrible. Just bad taste, bad art. How can he be an artist with that? Okay, especially when you're competing against king of divide and conquer, expert of fuck education, guerrilla warfare tactician, and killer of grandmas, Mao Zedong. So he is coming from the time of Reformation, the time of a new republic upon thousands of years of dynasties and amazing Confucian and rule throughout one of the largest countries, greatest populations in the world to date. And he was able to defeat the KMT, to fend off Japan with his guerrilla warfare tactics. It completely wasn't the United States at all. The United States had nothing to do with it. It was 100% Mao. He was able to lead people in an amazing march for victory, over 100,000 people. He was able to completely reform Confucian thought, and the fact that education is good, that you need that, he said, no, you do not need this. What you do need is you need to come together in a great commune. You need to come together and share materials, which absolutely did not lead to the death of anybody. And he put practice first. He's a man of his faith. He's a man who brought through the people inland and outward and defeated the KMT again, and has reigned the champion of the world, so to speak. Not even Superman can compete with him. There you go.
That last sentence is a bit of a stretch, but interesting.
Look at the background, Anthony.
Patrick. So let's go on to the first question for both of you. Can you name some pros about Maoism for Patrick and Nazism for Christian? We'll start with Patrick.
Okay, so again, I will emphasize that one of the biggest issues in China, in its history, in its dynasty history, and even in the modern era, is its huge population and its huge landmass. So how can one govern all of these people of different beliefs, of different areas, different ways of living? How can one do that? Dynasty struggled with it for a long time. How can you really gain the masses together? How can one do that? Well, Mao Zedong used his communist ideals. He switched up Leninism, made it Maoism in terms of saying, hey, you people in the rural areas, you don't need these feudal lords hurting you. You don't need these people from other countries telling you what to do. I got you. I'm your father. And he became the Pops. He became their Pops. No, this is very serious. He became the Pops and was able to create a united front in the CCP, which still reigns today. Mao Zedong created the CCP, which is more powerful than any government system or priority in the current East Asia era. That was all him. He was able to completely convince a whole country that that Confucianism and their ideals that they had since the beginning of their time in isolation doesn't matter, and that you must practice and do what you want for the Father, which is Mao. Which shows that he is one of the greatest populists and one of the greatest convincers and one of the smartest men ever. He also gave women the ability to divorce and have their own jobs, which was not done recently at that time. So there you go.
Nice job. All right, Christian, let's hear what you have to say.
All right, I'm going to tackle Patrick's first point, which, the last point I made, when he said that women were given the ability to divorce and have jobs. Well, Hitler took that away, and that was inherently a good thing. So, basically what Hitler did was he made sure everyone was employed and everyone had a job. But women were barred from the workforce and were told to be baby factories. So that the men were working in the physical factories, while the women were the metaphorical factory for what would be the Aryan race. So, just looking at what Nazism accomplished right after Weimar Germany, as I said before in my opening statement, horrible, horrible economic conditions, hyperinflation, 1 billion Reichmarks could buy not even a loaf of bread. So this man, along with help of Henry Goebbels and others, they were able to create the most intricate wartime economy that just thrived on war. And war is a good thing. So in doing that, Hitler was able to completely turn the fate of Germany around and put it into the incredible German Empire that it became. Thank you.
Rebuttal. Last time I checked,
Yes,
Mao Zedong Last time I checked, Mao Zedong fended off Japan in World War II. Last time I checked, Hitler was so successful in Germany that they lost to the United States, that they lost to everyone else, and then went into another economic downturn. Last time I checked, they got so messed up that they turned into a bunch of bitches right now. And now China is doing amazing, not just because of Mao Zedong, but the fact that Mao Zedong was able to secure Deng and protect him to create an amazing economy. He was able to completely re-establish his country and then give it to Deng to create an amazing economy. There you go.
Okay, let's go on to the next question. This is for Christian. In what you have seen in past years during the Trump presidency, Trump and fellow Republicans have been labeled as Nazis, or even Trump has been considered as worse than Hitler. Do you think that Trump and the Republican Party are a bunch of Nazis?
Thank you for your question, Anthony. And I would just like to say, no, absolutely not. And that is the biggest shame of the 21st century. If they were more, the United States would become the American empire that would wrest control from the globalist forces. So in summary, there's no way that they are Nazis, because if they were, they would be way more effective at their jobs.
Cool. All right. I like that answer. Very eloquent, very flowed very well. All right. So next question is for. Wait, hold on a second. Next question is for Patrick. Will you condemn the mass murder of Chinese people under Mao?
Okay, first off, I want to say you're wrong. Mao has not killed a single person. He gave the people a chance to come together to create.
That's not what we got. That's not the question I got, though.
Yes, but your question is wrong. It's like asking.
How so then?
It's like asking, oh, is blue your favorite warm color? Blue is a cold color. Okay, so it's a cool color. And I'd like to say this: Mao Zedong saved China. He saved them from the KMT in Japan, and then let them take matters onto their own hands, upon their own hands, to come together and to farm together and to create steel. And as we know with communes always work and always have worked, especially under Mao Zedong.
Okay, interesting. I do want to say to you though that in 1958, Mao launched the Great Leap Forward and aimed to rapidly transform China's economy, and it led to the deadliest famine in history, which resulted in 15 to 55 million deaths. Just wanted to
I don't appreciate. I understand.
Anyway, so we're gonna move on to the next.
I don't respect
question
this
now.
fake news. I don't respect these fake allegations. Where did you get that from? Wikipedia? Wikipedia that, huh?
I didn't Wikipedia that.
You get that from
I
CNN?
I only get stuff from reliable information. So
Mhm.
anyway, but we're gonna move on to the next question. Same question to Christian. Will you condemn the massacre of the Jewish faith by Hitler?
No, it was necessary. And in fact, if if it occurred, absolutely, you wouldn't be getting fake news from Wikipedia, and Patrick would have got his regular statistics.
Yes, exactly.
Interesting. So you both don't condemn the deaths by people. That's interesting.
Again, Mao Zedong didn't kill anyone.
No, that's not what that's not from the source I got.
The only person Hitler killed was himself.
It's true, with that terrible, terrible mustache.
Oh, well, I can definitely affirm you both are on the wrong side of history. Okay, let's go to the next question, and this is for both of you. In your opinion, which politician or politicians in the United States closely resemble Maoism and or Nazism? We'll start with Christian.
So am I answering the politician that most resembles Nazism?
Yes. And if there's not, if you can't think of one, you would have to just say why there isn't any.
Currently, there are none, but that is only because the American establishment is Jewish. So they will not allow a Naziist candidate to take office because, of course, it is controlled by the Jews.
Okay.
Okay.
Last time I
Patrick,
checked.
same question.
Last time I checked, Obama wasn't Jewish. Last time I checked, neither was Trump. So I would like to say that certain leaders of the alt left, which is what the ideology aligns with in that of communist China, resembles, because they put up the front that they, with these divide and conquer tactics, that they love you, that they're doing everything for the people, yet the policies don't reflect that. Next thing you know, you're eating each other and burning things and hurting your grandmother. Don't hurt your grandmother.
Right, that is true. Do not hurt your grandma.
Unless ordered by Mao Zedong, because he is killer of grandmas.
Reminds me of other people I know who sent COVID patients to nursing homes. Sad, sad, sad. Okay, so at this time we will now go into our audience questions, if we have any. So let's see. Anyone in the audience want to ask a question? Don't be shy though. Okay, Maria, type it in the chat and I'll ask it.
Patrick, I just want to say you're doing pleasantly on this debate so far.
Oh, you too as well.
Except
for the art aspect, the mustache aspect. He should have. There should have been Beard Brand back then.
What if you had like a Hitler mustache fade?
Oh boy.
Like a fade. All I know is that the hairline on Zedong is amazing.
This is questions for Patrick. What was Maoist's greatest contribution that holds today in China? In your opinion, what great advances will come of it?
In all honesty, and this is actually serious, the only, like the main contribution he's had to modern China is securing the leadership of Deng, who then brought upon the great economy or developing economy that China has. Mao literally started a whole revolution that killed so many people. Not him, obviously, he didn't do any of that, but these people went crazy, killed their grandmothers and all of that. And then there was this this alliance of 4 very bad people, including his wife. And he was able to protect Deng and put him in confinement to protect him from these evil people behind the shadows, which then translated into the economic growth that is occurring in China. Also, he completely single-handedly defeated Japan by himself. Absolutely no help from anyone. It was just him.
Okay, nice. Christian, you want a rebuttal to that?
I mean, I'm just saying that Patrick is being inconsistent with his delivery here because he said that Mao did not kill anybody himself, but he said that he single-handedly staved off Japan. So how did he do that? What did he do? Flick them away?
He did a lot of bad tweets. He sent them a lot of bad tweets and it fended them off.
Okay.
As we know, that is one of the biggest power hammers of all time. He actually created Twitter as well. So
the good old hammer and sickle, man.
Absolutely.
Looks like we know our question in our from our audience. Maria asks, Christian, can you justify any of Hitler's policies unironically?
Yeah, okay. So this is actually on a serious note. The whole like wartime economy thing, it did do a good job of making sure that all of Germany was employed and that all Germans were making a reasonable living. Wages rose, but also hours rose, unfortunately. So, there was kind of unfavorable work conditions, but they were able to survive a little better than they did previously. And specifically because they introduced 2 different new forms of currency, this was definitely a good thing. And also Volkswagen, the car company, was kind of set up in like a lottery type way where it was practically given to Germans because everyone wanted them to have like the newest and latest automobile, and especially because the Autobahn was built during that time. Those were some unironic things that were actually good because it's cool to see that somehow he was making this wartime economy yet still wanted to give his people cars, which is interesting. But
Christian, the only thing I know Volkswagen to be is the vehicle that stowed upon a bunch of punches on my arm. Every time I've seen a Volkswagen as a child, I got punched.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that.
Patrick, was that your rebuttal?
That's my main rebuttal. It led to the pain on the arms of children.
I have to grant it.
Perfect.
I know this is your first time doing this, but you have to just make sure you have to ask for a rebuttal. Okay. All right. So, question. This will be our last question, then we'll move on to closing statements. For Christian, if the United States was governed by Nazis, what would the United States look like?
Well, I'm going to illustrate this with a very nice image. It is inherently a good thing. Definitely not bad whatsoever. Yeah, just like that. See the Statue of Liberty draped with red. She looks good in red. And then the World Trade Center and draped in beautiful Aryan red. Yeah, the aesthetic would be cool. The uniforms would be cool. Maybe we'd still have people wearing like uniforms and stuff. That'd be pretty awesome. But yeah, I mean, specifically, I guess if you want to take this from a strictly theoretical view or hypothetical view, if Germany and the Axis powers won World War II, it's likely that the United States would have been conquered and split into 2 different areas. It would be the greater Nazi America and then Japan would have like everything on the West Coast, so like California and everything like that. That's how it would look. Now, I assume. I mean, I think at that point probably Japan would get out of here, or maybe even the United States would rebel, which would most likely the likely example of what would happen. So maybe it would be right where we are, but just albeit in different circumstances.
Nice take. I like it. Patrick, same question goes for you, but obviously not for Nazis. It's going to be for Mao. If the United States was governed by Mao's policies or by Mao Zedong, what would the United States look like?
Okay, given my time, I will say that the design for the Nazi uniforms was done by like Balenciaga or Fendi or something like that.
Hugo
Obviously not
Boss.
Hitler. So because his career was so bad in art that he had to change it. So the policies would be great. It would be amazing here. It would instill the empowerment of women, the empowerment to have jobs, to work well, to help one another, to farm. A lot of farmers in Kansas are needed. We will instill the foundations right there. And again, protect the state, protect our father Mao, and continue what we have. Because last time I checked, Mao and the CCP, Mao is still worshipped by China, the CCP still exists, and their economy is doing stellar.
Okay, scary, but interesting take. All right, now we're going to move into closing remarks. Patrick, take it away.
Okay, so what is a leader? What should that possess? One, an amazing hairline. As we see in the top right image, if it's correct, you see a great hairline there. Two, stellar words of wisdom and the ability to move mountains, which he has done. And three, the ability to create a stable economy and the ability to sustain the future of your country. And that has been done. It has not been done on the Christian side. It has not been done. It failed. And that is a fact. Also, the words Great Leap Forward, great name. Really nice name, positive connotations all over the board. And with that, I close.
Okay, interesting, let's say. So, Christian, let's hear your closing remarks.
What is a leader? Clearly, it is a man
Oh, God.
with funny mustache. But there is no person that can give speeches quite as good as Adolf Hitler. There will just never be someone whose tongue encapsulates the whole nation, gets them on board with his ideology, and that had nothing to do with propaganda. Nothing, absolutely nothing. It was just all because Hitler was a very honest man with honest ideals and honest goals. And though he may have failed, he has imprinted himself on history forever. And in the future, everyone, well, not everyone, but the smart ones will flock to Nazism because it has really dope uniforms. And that is where Patrick's ideology will die, because when the CCP is toppled, no one will remember them because they were not cool. I close.
Okay, thank you, Christian. Thank you, Patrick, and thank you to our audience for those who joined. This is Anthony Maragliata signing off on the Anthony. Wait, this isn't the Anthony Maragliata show. This is Everything in Moderation. All right, so signing off on Everything in Moderation. Thank you, everybody, and good night.